How you doing?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you. So
Okay,
I was
so
appreciating you for your time. Thank you so much. So I don't know what's happening today. I think the network is kind of bad and people are struggling to join the call. So what do you suggest?
I heard you say 5 minutes earlier. Maybe we should just wait for 5 minutes, and after that we can just kick start with the people we got here.
All right. Thank you.
hmm You don't understand in the print. Question number five.
Okay,
Question number five.
hello. Yes,
Yeah.
the I understood the whole program. Maybe I was getting it wrong.
Okay.
I was actually trying to um recode what you did in the class. No, you opened two tabs and you tried to like use the other one to code into another one. So I tried doing it and I got error. So I
Okay.
didn't really know what I got wrong there.
Okay. So, are you on your laptop or your phone?
I was using my laptop.
Are you currently on this meeting with your laptop or your phone?
My phone.
Okay.
But I can still join with my laptop.
Okay, if you can join with your laptop,
If
that's
that's
fine. I'd like you to share your screen so that I can help you out. Okay.
all
Are
right.
you on
Thank
Windows
you.
or Mac?
Windows.
Okay, fine. Then go ahead. Join with your laptop. Switch to your laptop and then share your screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Two.
Okay. Judith, are you there? Judith, are you there? Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Just want to make
Yes.
sure.
Yes, you're
I can
audible.
hear
Okay.
you.
Um. All right. I did buy you. Um. Okay. Great. Okay. I think we have like three more people here. So Judith, you can just hold on for now. It's okay. We can get back to what you got. Okay, towards the end of this particular class. Is that okay? I don't believe you can hear me, Judith. Okay. All right. So if you can see my screen, I want you to give me like a thumbs up. like reaction. Just give me a reaction, okay? I see Peace Daniel is giving me that reaction right there. Who else? Okay, somebody's raising their hands. Asleep, you wanna say something? Kingsley, do you want to say something? Or is that by accident? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Just a thumbs up. Okay. Kingsley, all right. I just want to make sure everybody's following because I'm about to start. I'm about to start. Just to make sure you're following. Adebayo said, yeah, you can see my screen. Onyinyechi, are you still there? Judith, don't worry about
Yes,
switching
I
to your
don't
laptop.
know why you were not able to hear me from my laptop.
Oh, okay, it's fine. You need to allow permissions and stuff. But for right now, just go ahead with this class, okay? Focus on this
Oh,
class, and you can
all
always
right.
get back to that later, okay? All right.
All
Can
right.
you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So without taking much time, hello everybody. How you doing? It's nice to have you here today. We're starting a little bit late. It's not called for. The teacher is right here before you guys.
Yeah.
It's not encouraging at all. So I don't know why. I think the first link was having issues, but for your recording might not be after recording or after class recording or YouTube link may not be available. You don't have to rely on that, okay? Because this is where you have to ask your life questions, understand, and get a better understanding to keep moving forward. You know, most of the time when you ask questions in the chat room, I may not be available to really give you the answer right there, or the answer might come later. But right here, you have me, and you can ask your questions straight up. So try as much as possible to be punctual, okay? And without taking much time, welcome to introduction to Python, week number two, okay? The last week we did number one. We talked about different stuff, printing stuff on the screen. Most of you run your first application in Python. Amazing. And today we're gonna go into the next step of doing something really really great. Okay. So without taking much time, I want to dive right into it. Okay. So the very first thing we want to do here is to look at our contents of the stuff you're going to be learning today. That's the very first thing you want to do. And this week lesson is going to be different from the last week's. So let's run this right now. The very first thing we're going to talk about is the Python syntax. Pretty much, that's simple, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. I'll tell you what it is. And we're going to talk about Python indentation. Okay? Very important in Python. And after that, we're going to be talking about variables in Python. Okay? Very important. Today's class, I don't know who wants to mix this class. There's a lot we have to talk about. And these things are very important for you to know when it comes to Python programming. And we have variables in Python. And another thing you need to learn is the data type in Python. Okay? I need to wear my glasses. Sorry. So we have the variable, the data type in Python, and then we go to Python operators. It's very important. This particular topic right here is very broad, but we're going to take it a beginner's way, okay? So that you can understand the basics. And then finally, you have a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus, a bonus content right there. You're going to learn what a built function is in Python. It is very important to learn that as a beginner, okay? And then finally, we're going to build a simple calculator. Do you know how it feels to really tell your cousin, your friends, or whomever, hey, I can build a simple calculator. We're not talking about a major calculator, right? You should be able to write a program that can calculate two numbers, plus and minus, and stuff. Just something simple, and you tell the computer to do it, and then it happens. That will I don't know what is more amazing than that. Having to think about something and just write a couple of lines of code, and boom, you have it right there. So we're gonna be going with with this application for each of those weeks. For each of the week, we're gonna be having different things we're creating along the line. Okay. So last week we ran our first program, which was Hello World. And today we're running a simple calculator with all of these things you're gonna be learning today. So without taking much time, let's dive right into the very first item right there, which is the Python syntax. Okay, so the very first one is the Python syntax, and let's look at what Python syntax is. So Python syntax can be executed by writing directly in the command line. So if you're writing Python code and you're writing it correctly, it's you using what the Python syntax. So when we come here right now, just like we did last week, and we just write hello. Let me go ahead and write hello. And I click enter, you can see that right here we have hello world, right? That's because I'm using the right Python syntax. Let me do something a little crazy here to show you what syntax means. So let me come here and say hello world, and I close this. When I click error, can you see the error we're having? Syntax error right here. You can see it. Syntax error. That's because we are missing out this quote. So if you are writing in Python and you are not following the right punctuation you're supposed to use or the right space, we're coming to the space. Space is the indentation. If you're not using the right punctuation, you will get a syntax error. That makes sense? It's as simple as that. It's no big deal. So even if I come down here and say, hey, print, and I do this hello word, and then I close it, one quotation up here is missing. If I click enter, I'm still going to get that. That's clear, right? So if I come here again and do something like print and I do this, let's say I do this hello, okay, and then I do this and I close this, I'm still going to get syntax error. Why? Because I'm using two different quotations. This is double quote and this is single quote. So the compiler don't know what you're talking about. You got to be precise when it comes to programming. You got to know exactly what you're doing. You can't just pick any punctuations and use. Okay, so that is that for syntax. All right. So the next thing we want to talk about. This is just a little example right here. You can see we have the right syntax up here with a double quotes up here, and then we have our printing out, which is saying hello world. That's just pretty much it. So let's go to the next one, which is Python indentation. Okay, let's look at what Python indentation is. So indentation refers to the spaces at the beginning of a code line, right? The spaces at the beginning of the code line. So Python uses indentation to indicate a block of code. Does that make sense? Python use what spaces to indicate a block of code. So let me go back right here and show you something. So let me say, for instance, if I want to say print now, and I do this, this probably print something nice. Not, it's going to give me the prints that I'm looking for, right? But let's say I want to write a little bit of code like, don't pay so much attention on exactly what I'm doing before. I just want to show you something with a good example. Don't let the code scare you away. So, but instead of doing it here, let me go into a file. Just gonna create a new file, and here I'm just gonna go like, let me say age is equals to 44. Don't worry about what age is. Why is it like that? We're getting to that, okay? So I'm gonna come down here. I just want to show you the importance of indentation. If age is less than 22, and then I want to print hello. Let's say you are old. Let's put it that way and close that. Otherwise, I want to say Prince, young man. Okay, so indentation here. Can you see how this code is structured? I just want to make sure everybody's following. If you're still there, a thumbs up would go a long way. Yes, I see Victoria. Just a reaction from anybody who's still following. Just want to make sure you're there. Okay, great. All right, so if you look at this right now, what do you observe? We can answer. If you want to answer, you can just go ahead and raise. What do you observe about this particular print and this print? No, what do you observe about this print in relation to the code up there? Can anybody answer that question? Just unmute your mic if you want to say something. What do you observe about this code? Just period. I need somebody to tell me something. Anybody who want to try? What do you observe about this code? Just this code, or better still, just the if statement. This prints in relation to the if statement up there. Nobody. Don't be afraid to miss it. If you get it wrong, it's fine. You get it right. Okay. I guess everybody's scared to say
Sir,
something.
sir, I can try, sir.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Fine.
Okay, sir. What I observe indeed is like the syntax age equals to 44. Then if age is less than 22, then it should print hello, you are old. Else print you are a young man. So what I'm saying,
Okay.
what I observe there is if age is less than 22, then we should get hello, you are old. Else, if
Mhm.
it's greater than 22, it should print
Mhm.
you are a young man.
Okay, that's perfect. You just explained the code to me, right? That's perfect, and that's great. But what I wanted to hear is, okay, we have age, we have print right here. Why is there space here? I needed somebody to say, why is there space here? Why is there space? Why can't I do this and just have it that way? Why can't I just write my code straight up like that? Well, the answer is simple. Python works with indentation. Okay, it is very important to work with indentation. Let me save this code right now and run it. Let's say I want to save this, and I'm going to just save it as. Let me save this as class just to keep it simple. I'm going to go ahead and save that one, and then I'm going to go ahead and right now and run this. Let me run and see what we have. Do you see what we got here? I said we have an indentation error. Can you go ahead? Let me go ahead and block after if statements. Do you see how Python works? If you don't have your code indented, Python is going to give you an error. Like, Mr. Man, you're not going anywhere. You're not placing anywhere. You just can't come into my space and position your code anyhow and think you're going to go free. That's what interpreters telling you right here. So, but for you to correct this right now, I'm going to tell you the way to do it manually because okay, fine. Let me take this off. Um, take this off. By the time you write your code like this in idle and you click enter, automatically it's giving you the indented space already, right? So I can just come here and say print. You are too young, right? You can see I don't have to do nothing extra. But let me write the else statement differently. Watch. Let me go back. Take it back. I'm starting from here. If I want to get that space, indented space, I have to do my. I'm talking about the manual right now. I have to go space 4 times, right? There are two ways you can do it. You can either use tab to get to that place immediately, or you can do space 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're good. So there are two ways now. The first one, you can just press your tab key and boom, you're indented, you're good to go, right? The interpreter is going to give you what you want. Or you can do it manually. One, two, three, four, space bar, and you'll still get the same result. And now I can go ahead and print and say, hey, you are too old. All right? So I need somebody right now. Now that you get the picture of what indentation means in Python, the spaces, the tabs you have, you need them. If you don't get it correctly, the compiler will tell you this command, you're not going anywhere. You have indentation error. Okay? Now that we understood what we're getting what indentation is right now, can somebody tell me what, if I run this code, what am I gonna get on the screen? Am I gonna get you are too young or hey you are too old? What am I gonna get on the screen? I just need somebody right quick. Just we started late. We gotta, pace it a little bit. Anybody who can tell me what are we gonna see on the screen? Are we gonna see you are too old or hey you are too young? Read what you have on the screen. We have age is equals to 44. That means we have Suleiman, or let's say we have Michael is 44 years old. And now Michael is trying to get into an organization and it's saying that if Michael's age is less than 22, we want to print you are too young. But if it's greater than what? If it's greater than one, say you're too old. Can anybody tell me what we're gonna see on the screen? Are we gonna see Michael, you're too young, or hey, you're too old? Somebody, quick, unmute your mic, please.
God's power, omit your mic.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's going to print, hey, you are too old. Because when it sees the first statement, if age is less than 22 and age is not less than 22, it's greater. So it's going to skip that and continue. Then when it gets to else, it's going to print that other statement, hey, you are too old.
Okay, that's very great.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
I wish I have a clapping effect right now. I clap for you, but we don't know yet. Let's run it. We don't know. The compiler might be like, well, the instructor, I agree with you, but I don't. But what you're saying makes sense actually. So let's go to the run right now and do judgment to what you say. Remember to save your work anytime you write on this. It's very important. And then you click OK, and now you can see, boom, you are too old. So what he said is absolutely the right thing. You are too old. That's what it is. So if I want to open my file again, I'm just going to go to File and go to Open, and then from there I can click on the class, and I'm back here. So yeah, so age is what is now lesser is greater than 22. That's why this part is skipped, and now we're down to this place. But this is not what we're doing today. So let's get back into exactly what I wanted you to understand is the indentation. If I go back here, I'm gonna get an error. So when I try to run this, for instance, what type of error am I gonna get? I'm gonna get expecting an indented block right here. That code is not gonna run. Okay? So the red sign is telling me I have to put in my tab. And when I run it now, I'm going to get exactly what I am looking for. Right? Okay, so let's move forward. And now, moving from Python indentation, we're going down to variable in Python. Okay, it's very important. This particular one, don't miss it. Even if you miss every other thing, don't miss this. This is important. So a variable in Python is named reference used to store data values. Okay, it is it acts as a container for data. Think about think about having a container, right? Think about having a container. You can put different stuff inside the container. You can put gari, you can put rice, you can put beans, you can put spaghetti. But that container needs to be named. All right? That is variable. So variable, think of variable as a container actually, and you'll get exactly what we're talking about here in Python. So if I have like this container, this bottled water, right? This bottled water is bottled water, but you know right here in Nigeria we can fill this up with Coke, right? And When we fill it up with Coke, it's no longer bottled
Yeah,
water. It
you're
becomes
speaking.
what?
Uh,
Bottled Coke. Can you
okay.
hear me?
I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm the only one not seeing the bottled water. So
Oh, you're not seeing the bottled water? Can you see it?
can any other person see
Oh,
it?
you're not seeing it. Okay, let me.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, right.
Okay.
I'm giving an example.
He's showing it on his
Um,
camera, not on the slide.
Oh, sorry.
not on the slide. There's a camera. You got to come back to me. Okay.
Okay.
So if we have this bottled water, this is bottled water, right? This is a container. This is the variable holding what? But water in it. Now, if we take out this water and put in Coke inside this bottled water, the container is still going to hold Coke, right? And then it becomes bottled Coke, I guess. So it's like it changes, but there's a container. Containers known as variable. Now we can remove the Coke and still put in Fanta in here. And when we put in Fanta in here, it becomes bottled Fanta, right? I don't know. I'm just giving it a name. You can give it any name you want, but and that's how it is with variable. You can give variable any name you want. Then, but the gist of what I'm showing you is the container is known as variable, regardless of what is inside of it. What is inside of it is data type, and that's what we're gonna treat. That's what we're gonna talk about next. So think of a variable as a container, and don't worry about what is inside of it because in Python it can change to anything. It can change to Coke, Fanta, mineral, whatever thing you want. Even Zobo, right? It can change to anything. But the point here is variable serves as a container that holds that particular water inside of it or anything you have inside of it. So that's the best illustration I can think of right now. So with that being said, moving forward, let's talk a little bit about data type. Now, we talked about the container, right? Let's talk about the stuff that can be stored inside this container. The stuff that can be stored inside the data, inside the variable, right? Because we say variable is a container. Now let's talk about Coke. Let's talk about Fanta. Let's talk about Zobo. Let's talk about anything that this container can hold. This container can even hold rice. You know that, right? I can put rice inside of it. I can put beans inside of this. Literally anything, right? But this is the container itself is variable. Now let's talk about the rice and beans and water and everything inside of it. That is data type with Python, right? So the two things they work together. The container, which is the variable, and the stuff inside of it is the data type. So when you talk about variable and data type, they go hand in hand. So the variable is holding the data type, right? So I'm going to be showing you an example, don't worry. But let's talk about what data type is. A data type in Python describes the kind of data a value holds. So if I'm talking about data type, I'm describing, oh, is it beans? What do you have inside here? This is water. Oh, what do you have inside here? This is Coke. Oh, what do you have inside here? This is Fanta. Now let's bring it down to coding, right? So let's explain the examples of data type first of all. These are the examples we have in Python. Literally almost every programming language, but we're talking about Python right now. So we have integer, we have float, we have string, we have boolean, we have list, we have tuple, we have set, we have dictionary, we have non-type. So how many are this? We're talking about 9 data type right here. So I'm telling you that this is a variable, and you can literally put 9 things inside this variable. You can put integer in here. You can put float. Let's say float is beans. We can put string. Let's say string is Coke. You can put boolean. Boolean here could be Fanta. You can put list. List could be rice. Tuple, whatever. You can put it inside this container, which is our variable, right? So, but today I don't want to make things too complex. We're going to be treating just four alone. Just four. We're going to be talking about number one, integer. We're going to be talking about floats. As number two, we're going to be talking about string because you're starting out. I don't want to give you too much of information so you don't freak out. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. So we're going to be treating this four, We're going to be talking about integer, we're going to be talking about floats, we're going to be talking about string, and we're going to be talking about boolean. All of these are data type, right? So somewhere in the future, as time goes, we will talk about the list and tuple and the rest of them. So without taking much time, let's get right into integer, declaring integer variable. How do you declare this actually? What is integer? First of all, integer holds a whole number. Is there anybody here who don't know what whole number is? I don't think so. Whole number at a random, are like your one, two, three, a number without a decimal point, right? Whenever you see any numbers like that, it is we're talking about integer, right? And how do you declare it in Python? Once you have your x equals to 5, the compiler already know and separates the variable from the what data type. I want to write a code right now, just a simple line of code declaring integer, and I will need somebody to explain and tell me which one is the variable and what data type, which one is the data type. So let me get down into this terminal. I'm gonna create a little bit new file right here, just a random file, and here I'm gonna call in. Let me give something what I did before. H is equals to 45, right? So I need somebody to tell me, just on each of mine, and tell me which one is the variable and which one is the data type. What data type are we dealing with here? Since we say integer is a whole number, and now I just declared something, I want somebody to tell me, think. That's how I run my class. I need you to think, first of all, because that's the only way you can get outside your comfort zone. Don't worry if you fail it, I'm here. I'm going to correct you. It's fine. That's the best way to learn. You try something different, okay? Now, we can tell me which one right here is the what variable and which one is the data type. What data type are we talking about here? And how did you know the type of data type? Anybody? Let me drink water from my variable.
Please unmute and speak.
Do anybody want to? Yeah, I can't see my screen anyway. So, Victoria, you can.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the variable there is the age. Age is the variable there, so it's the container that's going to carry or house uh, the the variable. So the data type is an integer because this 45 is a whole number.
Great, amazing. Okay, that's nice. He answered the question already. That's correct. And who's that again? What's your name? Because I can't see my screen. I can't see you. Let me see what I have
Oh,
here.
it's gospel.
Okay,
It's
Gospel.
gospel.
Okay, nice. Gospel, that was really amazing. So what Gospel said was the age right here is the variable, is the container holding words, a data type integer. And how did he know? Because this is a whole number. Does that make sense? So I can come down here and say x. I can come down here and say x is equals to what? 55. And I can say y is equals to what? 88. Right? I can come down here and say, let me say 10. No. Let me say, I'm trying to give a variable name can make sense. You can go with, let's say my size. You can give that equals to, let's say your shoe size. You can even say your shoe size, right, is equals to 45. That's a whole number. So right here, you can come here and say, this is your what? This is your container. This is your bottled water, right? This is your container, which is your variable. And in Python, according to what you assign to your variable, automatically the system knows what you're talking about, right? So because this is a whole number, we already know this is what this is. This is what this is. What do we call it? This is a variable holding an integer, right? That's the way it works. Pretty much it. And now moving down to what we have next, I want you to have this in mind. This is just the first one, integer, and then we go down to the next one. Let's see how we declare float and what float is. So floats actually hold decimal numbers. So any numbers that has to do with points, 0.999, 0.888, 10.29, the system, the interpreter sees it as a float number. Okay, I hope you're putting down notes. And let's go ahead to the terminal right now and just show you exactly what this is. All right, I'm just gonna come down here and I'm gonna say temperature is equals to what? Let's say my temperature today is 6.8, just a random number. So right now you already know. And just let me back off a little bit. I think there is an input function that take type of or type, and we run or let's say we run age, and I close that. Don't worry, I'm trying to see something, and I have to save. Remember, you have to save your file, and let's say variable, and don't forget that you have to save your file. So you can see if you want to know the type of whatever. Let me close this just to start a new one, and sorry about that. Where's my stuff? I close it up. Okay, so let me open this up. I'll start, and I'm going to open the last one, and I'm going to open that. So if you want to know the variable type of this particular thing, or any variable, if you want to know the type, the data type, you can use the input function type. Okay, this is just by the way. Like right now, I want to know the data type for my shoe size. I'm just gonna get my shoe size and print it on the screen. See, this is what I did right here. Once you have your prints, come inside and type the type and open brackets, close bracket. Now inside the type, pass in the variable name, and this will print out the type of variable. It will print out the type of variable on the screen, right? So right here, let me come down and print out this particular one. I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna go type. Type is the keyword, don't forget that. And I'm gonna go temperature. I'm going to close that. So this is going to print out the type of data type of this particular variable to the screen. And this one will print out the data type of this particular variable, temperature. So without taking much time or looking at it, we already know. But let's see if the interpreter can determine which particular one it is, right? So right here, we already know this is a whole number. This is going to give us what? Integer, right? We already know this is a decimal place number. This is going to give us floats. But let's see if we're correct, if we're right or wrong. I'm just going to save that and then I'll run it and let's see the results. So you can see right here we have the class. This is giving us integer and this is giving us floats. Isn't that amazing? That is how it works. So we have two more to go, the string and the boolean. So let's get back into what we've got. And then the third one is going to be string. This one you're going to be using it a lot in Python. Declaring string in variables. So string holds sequence of characters, okay, tests. And if we want to declare string in Python, we need a double quote or the single quotes. Please note this. It doesn't matter. Python does it's not picky. All right, when it comes to single quotes and double quotes, the both of them works fine. Okay. So let's get into right here. Um, sorry, I have to open that file again. File, open, and then okay. So let's get into string right here. So if I want to declare string, let's say my name, or let's just make it simple, name, and I said that. If I want to declare string right here, I'm just gonna go with double quotes first of all. I can say Chika Obi Obina, right? Just keep it simple. I can also declare name number two right here, and I'll say what? Let's say this is Olayinka, right? Olayinka. Does that make sense? Just a random name. So right here, you already know this is the variable. A variable holding a data type string. A variable name2 holding what? A data type string. This is a variable, I'm going back, a variable named temperature holding a data type, what? Float. This is a variable, my shoe size, holding a data type, what? Integer. Pretty much it. So let's print out the name, or let's print out the type, okay? And see if the compiler is going to make mistake on this one. So the print is gonna be there, and I'm gonna go with the keyword type. That's an input function. And I'm gonna go name, and I'll close that up. Does that make sense? And now when I run this, I'm gonna save that first of all. Don't forget, it's very important. If you don't save, it's not gonna work. So they can see the first one is telling us the first one you have is string. The temperature is float, and here the name you have is what? Is a string, str. Does that make sense? Can we move forward? I want to believe you're understanding what I'm doing here. All right, so now we're gonna move into the last one. The last one is gonna be Boolean, right? So let's see what we have for Boolean. What is Boolean actually? So Boolean holds true or false. Boolean not holds it doesn't hold anything else. Just true or false. Are you lying? Are you saying the truth or you're lying? Is it true or is it false? That's what Boolean is doing. Boolean does not hold nothing more. So we have an example right here. Is active is equals to true. Is active can be false. Is active can be true. Okay? So let's declare that and see what we have here. For Boolean, we're gonna come down here and let's say is active is equals to what? I'm gonna set that to true. Now let's see if the interpreter is gonna understand, or let's say is not active, and we're gonna set that to what? False. Let's see if the interpreter is gonna understand what we're doing here. I'm gonna go type and I'm gonna open bracket, close bracket. Make sure you're closing the print and then come inside the bracket, in between the bracket of the type, and type in what variable you want to know the value, the data type. And here I'm just gonna go it's active. And now let me run this and see if we're gonna get a Boolean figure or we're gonna get integer for this particular is active. So here I'm just gonna go down here. Remember to save your work. And when you run it, you can see we have bool. The bool stands for Boolean, right? So you can see how amazing this works. Your data type and your variable, you can see how they work hand in hand. And I've shown you so far how you can tell which particular data type it is, right? Depending on wherever you are. So let's get back into what we've got here. I'm just gonna open that. So if you want to print the shoe size as well, I'm gonna take this off. Let's print the actual value now. Let's say I want to print age. I'm just gonna go print age. I want to print my temperature. I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna go print. This is what we did last week for week number one. Those of you who did not attend last week, you probably not get what we're doing here, but it's okay. Just go back and watch the video. There may not be video for this week, so you don't have to miss any class. So here we're gonna go with the temperature, and then finally, not finally, I'm sorry. Here we're gonna go with another print. Let's print name number one or name number two. It don't matter. Let's just go with name. Because we still have some more. You sure we're gonna have a time here, Victoria? I think our time is limited. We're gonna have like is active,
Yeah,
and then once we have that,
we have less than 14 minutes on this call. So if
okay,
yeah, if you still have a lot to do, we can create a new link.
okay, that's fine. So what I'm trying to do right here is I'm trying to print each of these things on the screen so you can see them. And here I can just come here. I'm gonna save my work, and I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna run the module. And you can see the 45H. You can see the 6.36.8 temperature. You can see the name number one, and you can see the Boolean value, which is true. Now, make sense? All right, so let's move forward actually. And here we're gonna go down to Python operators. think this is absolutely the last but not the least, Python operators. In Python operators, we actually we're talking about this are used to perform operations on variables and values. Okay, so if we have variables, we can use Python operation to perform different operations and stuff on it. So without taking much time, let's look at the different types of operators we have. We have arithmetic operators in Python. We also have assignment operators. We also have comparison operators. We also have logical operators. We also have identity operators. We have membership operators. And we have bitwise operators. But hey, don't worry. We're just going to work with arithmetic operations. All right, okay? Arithmetic operations, operators, that's what we're going to be working with today as a starter class. Every other one you will learn as you advance, okay? So without taking much time, let's talk about that, Python arithmetic operations. When we talk about this, what are we talking about? I want to show you like a visual, okay, of what we're talking about when we talk about arithmetic operators in Python. So plus sign is used to add two numbers. You can see x and y right here. We have x and we have y, okay? The minus sign is used to subtract. You can say x minus y, okay? Still gonna give you something. And this asterisk sign is used to multiply. I mean, some of you already know the signs on your normal calculator, right? And the slash sign is used to divide. So these are the four that we're going to be dealing with today. Because I don't want to take much time, we're going to deal with this four. These are the four signs or operators a beginner needs to understand. Then eventually we can move to the percentage, which is like the modulus. We can move to the exponential, which is like the raised to the power of, and we can move down to the floor division. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what this is. Let's talk about the plus sign first of all. So I'm going to go down here and I will have to clean. I'll create another file. This file I'm going to call, I'm not saving it yet, or let me save it. I'm going to call this file, maybe let's just call it calculator. Just call it calc. I already have a file like that. Okay, I'm just going to replace that. It don't matter. Okay, so the very first thing we want to talk about is what? The plus sign. Mind you, in Python, you can plus any data type. You can plus float, string, integer, any of them, right? So let's say we have age. Age is equal to 55, or let's say age number one. And we have age number two is equal to what? 33. So if I want to add these two together, what do you think I can do? I'm going to call in what? I'm either going to create a new variable. I'm going to call the variable addition, and I'll set it to hold age number one plus, this is the operator right here, plus age number two. All right? So I have a variable that is holding the addition of age number one and age number two. So if I really want to see my result, I'm just going to print that out. So I'm just going to go print. I want to print out addition. Okay? So let me see the result. Let's see if this computer can understand my instruction. So I'm just going to go right here and run. When I run that, I'm going to clear this up. Let me clear this so we have a fresh one. Oh, it closes everything. Wow. Okay. Let me go back and open it again. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Open. And here I'm going to go to CAC. And boom, we have that. So let me expand that up and expand this as well. So here I'm just going to go Run. And let me run this. I'm going to run that. And you see we got the result is 88. Does that make sense? 55 plus 33 is 88. Yeah, so it's correct. We're seeing the result right here. It's 88. So let's treat the number a little bit. Let's say we have like 50 here and we have like 30 here. Let's see what we're going to have. Remember to save your work and then you go back to run and then you click on run module. Now we have 80. That is addition. Okay? Now, some of you might ask questions like, let me get rid of this. Or better still, let me come down here. Like if we have a string data type, let's say name. name number one, let's say first name, right? And I'll set that equal to, um, let's say King. And the second one, last name, I'll set that equals to what? Solomon. Solomon. Okay? So if I want to print the both of them, I can do first name plus last name. This is going to print King Solomon, but there's something I want you to observe. Let me save this. I'm going to go down and click run, and I'm going to run that. Can you see this? We have King Solomon right on the screen. But this doesn't make sense. It printed it out as a single name, right? Without no space in between. How can we fix that for real? We can come back here and just either do this crazy stuff. This one is crazy. We can just say space here and equal to, we put in the space in between, and then we can come here and add another plus and say space, which is ridiculous to me, right? And we run it. Let me save it. I'm gonna run, and now it's corrected, right? King Solomon with a space in the middle, right? If we go back, I can easily, instead of doing this, I can easily just come here and just put in a space in between them. Still gonna work. Still, still the same deal. I'm just gonna go and run this. I'm gonna save my work and I run this. I'm still gonna have the same thing right here. So what am I trying to show you? You don't just calculate only numbers, add numbers, use the plus operator to add numbers, but you can also use it to add what characters or string. Very important for you to know because you're going to be using this a lot in your print function. Okay, so let's move down to the float. This is for string, and let's go down to. We can also add floats as well. Let's say we have temperature number one equal to 5.9, and temperature number two is equal to what? 8.9. For instance, and I want to print the both of them. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead here and put temp number one, and here I put temp number two, right? So let's run this right now and see what we have. Just going to go. Um, I'm sorry. I have to save my work. You got to keep doing that. So you can see we have 14.8, right? Which is absolutely what we're expecting here. 5.9 plus 8.0 is what it is, right? So that's just how it works. And going down to the second one, which is the minus sign here, the
Yeah. Excuse
subtraction,
me.
it's almost up, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so
Okay,
we
okay.
have 5 minutes left here. Thinking before you proceed, I should just
Okay,
create a
so
new link so that everyone will join.
yeah, just create a new link before we go down to the subtraction.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody to just go ahead and join so you can get the full picture of the operators because it's part of your assignment. You need to get this one so that you can get your assignment right, okay?
Mr. Patrick, we cannot hear you. Can you hear Mr. Patrick? Can anyone hear Mr. Patrick? Oh, I think that was a mistake. Okay.
I have to restart my laptop. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. Just a second. And I think we are down somewhere here. Okay, here, exactly. So just go slide, current slide, okay. Pretty much it. That's what we have there. Just gonna deactivate this. And we're supposed to open a file here. I'm just gonna go to open. I think we have calculator. And we have that up there. What else am I missing? Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, so we're going down to the subtraction right now. Sorry for that break. I think we needed it. Some of you took the opportunity to drink water and all that. So um, let's go to the subtraction right here. I'm just gonna reorder the stuff, get this off the way. Sorry. Let me reorder this. Take this down here. Okay. All right. So let's talk about subtraction right here. We understood what we talk about when we talk about multiplication operators right here. The plus sign. Right now, we want to talk about subtraction. Okay. So I'm just going to get rid of this. It's okay. If you have questions later, I can write that on top of my head. Let's say we have age number one again is equal to 30, 33, and age number two is equal to, let's say, 12. And now we can do something called, maybe let's say, subtraction. That's what that is. And we can just give that a variable name. This is a variable name, right? And this variable name is going to be holding whole number because we're talking about integer right here. This is a whole number. This is a whole number. So we're just going to come down here and we're going to say something like age one. Oh, instead of giving it eight, that's kind of like awkward. Let's just give it number. Number one, number two. Okay?
Yeah.
Just to give it, make it make sense. And here we can come number one minus, okay, minus number two. I can hear some background noise. Is everybody muted? Because I'm a little distracted. Can you mute your mic? Yeah, so we have number one minus number two. Now, if we want to print this, we can just go print, and now we're printing sub, okay, subtraction. And we already know 33 minus 12 is what? I don't know what that is. Um, Whatever it is. So we're going to find out soon. Just save your work and you just go to run. Okay? And when we run that, we can see our result here is 21. But there's something I want to teach you when it comes to something like that, printing out your results. You just have to go to like open. Let me go again and see here that we have our results. Okay? Remember, we're printing a whole number. And now I want to use the plus sign here inside the print. Let's say I want to add something, a string. Your subtraction is, and now I'm using a plus sign to add. Here we're gonna have an error. Okay, I'm gonna show you what error we're gonna have now. Let me run it, and so that you can see the error that we're gonna have. You see, we're having a type error because I'm trying to add a string to integer. It doesn't make sense. The compiler is telling you these two don't go together. You can't put two different stuff inside one container. That don't make no sense. It's gonna reel. It's gonna make you purge. The stomach is gonna mess up. So how do we fix this type of problem? Because if we want to print the results, let me go ahead and do this. Sorry. I'm gonna open this file again. Yeah. So if you want to print this result, it's been nice for us to see the subtraction is then the answer, right? But this compiler is telling us we cannot add a string to a whole number, which is integer, right? How do we do this? Remember when we checked the type, str is representing string, right? int is representing what? Is representing int,
Eight.
integer. Float is just the normal spelling of float. And bool, bool is representing boolean. Right here, we can convert this sub, which is a whole number, to a string. So if I come here and put str and cover that with open and close bracket and run this, this is going to work because this is a string and this is a string. So the compiler knows, okay, fine, you're trying to add a string and a string. This makes sense. I'm going to give you what you want. But if you're trying to add a string and and an integer, it's telling you these two don't go together. It doesn't make sense. So If we run this code now, it's going to work because now we've converted the whole number, which is the result of this, to a string using the str. Okay, so let me go ahead and save this and run. Let's see how our result shows here now. Okay, it's 21, so good. If we want to even make it even better, I think this is where I'm going to stop. You'll be the one to do the multiplication and the subtraction yourself. Sorry, multiplication and division, okay? I'm just telling you all the different stuff that you can do with the addition and subtraction. You can figure the other two out yourself. That would be part of, your extra assignment, okay? So look at this. Your subtraction is 21, right? So if we come down again here and open this and just come down here, we can even do more stuff here. Okay, so let me do something and let me come down here and say um, x number one minus number two is this. Okay, so how do I do that? So number one is an integer, right? This is a whole number. How do I convert that to what? How do I convert that to a string? Can anybody tell me how do I convert this whole number to a string? Just unmute your mic.
We are putting it in
How do I
quotes.
convert? How do I convert number one to string? Yeah, somebody's saying something. Go ahead. I can't see you guys. I'm just focused on my screen. So go ahead and mute your mic and say if you have the answer. Somebody saying something? Okay, nobody. All right, fine. I just want to show you guys how you can make your outputs even look more good, right? So we can say str is what you can use because I'm trying to convert this particular data type, which is whole number integer, to a string, right? So I can say str, which is number one minus number one minus, and then I close that, and then I put my plus sign, and then I do what str minus what number two, number two, and I close that, and I put my plus sign again, and I put my string, and I say is, I open that, I put my string, and then I put this. Looking at this, you already know what this is going to print out. It's going to tell us 33 minus number 2, which is 12, is the result, which is the sum. So let's run this right now, see what we have. I'm just teaching you how you can manipulate. You see these operators, the plus sign, you can add strings, you can add numbers. It's not limited to numbers alone, right? So let's run this and see what we have on the terminal. So you can see 33 minus 12 is 21. You see how that results. You can see the result we have right now. Pretty much it just by writing that one line of code gives us that, right? Let me go back and open. I don't know why I keep opening this. Okay, so you can see right here. If you have a question, just put it down. Don't worry, you're going to ask a question very soon. But I need to hasten up this class. And that is how you do your minus and whatever thing you have. So if we want to do the plus sign right here, we can just come here, change this to a plus, and do plus right here. Is this, we can just change the variable name to plus and change the variable name here to plus as well. And when we save this right now and run this, we're going to get a different result, which is addition. 33 plus 12 is 45. That makes sense? All right, fine. We're going down into the bonus. I think it's the bonus right now. Let me see. It's this man. All right, so we're going down to the bonus is going to be input. I want to teach you guys just a little bit about input, and that's going to be a wrap for today. The inputs, I know it's a lot, okay? Don't worry, I'm going to answer all your questions. But the inputs, let's look at what an input is. In Python, input is a built-in function that is used to read user inputs. Okay? The input is used to read. If you want to collect something from somebody, you're going to have to use inputs. Okay? So this is where our project calculator will start. Okay? I'm just going to do the plus and minus, and then you can do the rest. All right? So I'm just going to go back to my stuff, my IDE, and I'm going to create a new fresh file. And this time around, this one, I'm going to save it and I'm going to call it calculator. Okay? And just keep it simple like that. And for us to start our calculator, it's very simple. You want to get the first number from the user and get the second number, and then do something with those two numbers. It's as simple as that. So what we're gonna do here, first of all, is to print to the user. I'm gonna be a little fast, but I want you to watch exactly what I'm doing. And after that, I'm going to explain the code, okay? So here, I might not say something as I go, but I may just keep your questions along the line and know that I will go through them again. So here I'm just gonna go impute your first number, and I'm gonna close that. So basically, what this is doing is gonna tell the user impute your what, the first number you want to add, or whatever. Okay. So here I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna get the first number. I'm gonna name this F number, or you can name it anything you want. Number one, it doesn't matter. Any name you give to a variable is fine. What matters is what data type is attached to that variable or inside that container variable. So here I'm going to go equal to, and I'm going to give it, this is where the input comes in. And I'm going to close that right there. So what this input is going to do is it's going to take in whatever the user puts in on the terminal and save it into this variable number one. Okay? So once that line of code is done, I want to go again and print. Um, I want to tell the user, this time around, I'm going to make it flexible. Let me use double quotes right here. I'm going to tell the user input your second number, and I'm going to close that. Do not combine double quotes with a single quote. If you're using single quotes, use it all the way. If you're using double quotes, use it all the way. Okay? And here I'm going to call in and say number two, and I'm going to call in the input so that I can get that input from the user, right? Now, this is where the calculation comes in. We're doing addition, okay? Addition. Oh, I haven't thought you guys comment before, so let me not confuse you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just say addition. This is a variable name called addition, right? Did I get that spelling right? I don't know. Um, but that's equal to, I'm gonna plus number one plus number two. Okay? I'm going to save it into a variable name addition. Okay, this is a container holding two whole numbers. Remember, we're getting the first number from the user and we're getting the second number from the user. Now we're adding them together. And now it's time to tell the user, hey, this is your result, right? So how do we show the user the result? We're going to go with print, and I'm going to say the addition, first of all, string here, the addition of, I'm gonna go with a plus sign. We call this concatenation in Python, in any programming language actually. But don't that's a long grammar. Don't worry about that. Just go with the operator, the plus operander or operator. So we're gonna go the addition of the space, then plus. We're trying to add strings here. Remember, you cannot add strings and integer. Don't forget this, we're adding numbers. So because I want to say the addition of number one and number two, that means I have to convert the string with str and put number one and close that up. The addition of number one plus, and I'm going to go this and plus number two, right? To convert that number two, I need the str, and I'll open that function and I'll put in my number two. And now I'm going to put another plus and I'm gonna call is, and I'm gonna put another plus. Now it's time for me to show my result, which is the addition up there. And I'm gonna call this str again because this is gonna still give me a whole number because I'm adding number one and number two, which are own whole number. Automatically, it makes the variable a whole number as well. So I'm gonna convert that as well. I'm gonna put it inside string and put what addition And I'm going to close that and close the print statement altogether. So let's run this beautiful addition calculator and let's see how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and save my work and I'm going to go and run this. I want to start a new terminal. I don't know why this is up. Okay, let me start a new terminal. Sorry. I'm going to run this one. It's taking some time. Sorry. Come on. Okay. I don't know if I saved my word, but if I did not, that's gonna be. I'm gonna have to start writing the code. Okay, fine. I have it right here, calculator. I'm gonna open that up. Cool. My code is still intact. I'm gonna do that, save, and then I'll run it now. Let's see what we have. So you can see, input your first number. You're telling the user to input that first number. You see the cost of blinking right here. That's the power of the input function. That was a bonus addition to the contents. So here I'm just gonna go 55, and then when I click enter, it's gonna tell me input your second number. This is amazing. And I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe I want to add, 27, pretty much it. And boom, by the time I click enter, I'm gonna get that. Woo, there's an error right here. You see that? 55 plus 27. Something is wrong somewhere. You can see we're having 5527. That's a wrong addition of 55 and 27. We'll have to fix that, right? It's not coming out the way we want it. Every other thing is good. The addition of 55 and 27 is this is where we're having a problem. And it's an easy fix, don't worry. I'm going to show you right now. So let's get back into the code. Go to open and open that particular calculator. The problem is coming from the is an integer, a whole number. Because this input is calculating the default value that this input is going to give us is a string. And if you're adding
My screen
50
is
or whatever
hanging.
number you add, what you say?
I think my own screen is hanging.
Can anybody else see the screen? Just let me know. Let me know if I have to end the screen and start it over. Yeah,
The screen is
Daniel says
okay.
that. What you say?
I said that the
Okay.
screen is okay. It's
All right.
hanging
So
on
I
my
think you're picking up
laptop
on
but
your.
showing very well on my phone. It's very okay. It depends on the network.
Okay.
I think it's better now.
Network.
It's
Yeah.
coming up.
It'll probably be from your. Okay. Okay. All right. Great. So for us to fix that problem, we have to tell the input what type of data type we want this variable to have. And for you to do that, let me get rid of this. We have to call in int, just like the way you usually call str, which is string. We have to call int and we open it up, and now we can pass in our input inside the string. So now the compiler is no is definitely going to understand that. Oh, okay. Whatever this user puts in here, convert it to string before saving it inside this container. This variable number one. Does that make sense? So if we come down here, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to put int. Open it up and close it up. Inside the integer, I'm going to pass in my input, and I'm going to close that because it's a function, of course. And what this compiler is doing is, hey, whatever the user put in as second number, convert it to its integer first of all before saving it into this variable number two. So if we run our code right now, everything is going to be perfect because now the compiler knows that, okay, fine, this is an integer, this is an integer. I have to treat them as an integer and add the both numbers instead of treating them as a string. All right, so when we save that right now and we go back and to run and we run that right now, we're gonna have input your first number, let me say 100, and input your second number, let me say 30, and now I'm gonna have that 130. Can you see how amazing code works? So this is the result of what we have in here. The addition of 130 is 130. You just wrote a simple calculator that adds, two numbers. That's As simple as that. So let's get back into the file. I'm gonna go back to open and let me get rid of this. Let's do minus, right? Let's do minus. Just change this to minus number one, minus number two, and we have to do a little bit here. The subtraction of number one from, gonna do some little changes from number two is, we're gonna change this variable name to match what we're talking about. So we're just gonna call it sub. So I'm gonna come down here and change this to sub. So it's gonna ask the user for the first number. That's what the first line is asking. This particular one will take the number the user puts in and convert it to an integer and save it inside this number one. And then we're asking the user to put in the second number. This particular input is going to get that number to an integer. And so to do the subtraction right here, we're going to take the first number and subtract it from number two, and we'll get our answer. So let's go ahead and run this. I'm going to save, and I'm just going to go to run, and I'm going to run that. And boom, enter your first number. Let's say the first number is 50, and I'm going to go enter your second number. Let's say the second number is 40. You can see the subtraction of 40 from 50 from 40. We're supposed to do, this is not grammatically correct though. This is supposed to be number two from number one. So we can correct that. That's simple. We can play around this. It's pretty much easy. It's not too complicated. So instead of number one here, to make it make sense, we can just go number two and go in number one right here. I'm gonna go save, and I'm gonna go down to run, and now it's gonna ask me for the first number. I'm gonna go 30, and then subtract maybe 40, and just put it that way. So the subtraction of 40 from that 30 is minus 10. You see, it's making more sense now. I guess that's about it for this class. I'm going to go down to take it all up, and now it's question and answer time. It's been a long class, but it's very, very, very important you know these things, because we just created a plus and minus sign calculator, and I think I need to show you something, which is your assignment for this week. It's gonna be sent to you anyway, but I just love running through it with you guys. The very first one is, what is variable in Python. That's pretty much simple. You know what that is right now. And list five types of data type in Python. You know what that is right now. What prints? What is prints input function used for? What is input function used for? Write a program that takes the name imputed by the user and print out. I'm sorry, this is a typo error. I'm print out and shout out. Yeah, of course, it's correct. And print shout outs, greeting to the name imputed by the user. And I give an example right here. So if the user put in Mary, you want to print out Hey Mary. If the user put in John, you want to print out Hello John. Or if the user put in any name, you want to append Good morning, any name that the user put in. So this is very simple with the knowledge that you have today. Then the side assignment, if you can, is optional. I want you to create the exact calculator we created today, but this time around, create the one for multiplication and the one for division. It's pretty much simple. You just come here and change this to multiply and do some little stuff, or come back here, change this to division, and you get the same thing. It's pretty simple. It's not hard at all. So, but that's gonna be it for this class, and it's time for question and answer. Do anybody have question? What's that part of the whole class? Um, I want to run a little bit through what we've done so far. In this lesson, we talked about Python syntax, right? And you know what Python syntax is right now. And we also talked about Python indentation, and we also talked about variables. Variables are containers, of course. Indentation are the spaces. Syntax is how you use your punctuations. Variables in Python are containers. Okay. Data type are the type of whatever you're putting in a water bottle, just like the illustration I gave. The data type, we have floats, we have string, we have boolean, we have about nine of them, right? But we actually talked about four today. And then we have Python operators. We have arithmetic, bitwise operator, different types of Python operators. But we are talking about arithmetic operators today, which you learn the plus addition, the subtraction, and you're asked to go figure out multiplication and division. So it means that the group is going to be hot this week. You're going to ask different questions. If you don't understand, it's fine. Axel will be right there to support you and walk you through all of that. And the bonus, of course, you know what input is right now. It is input that made it possible for me to impute my number when it says, hey, put in number one. It is because of input. Input takes whatever the user put in and give it to you to work with in the back end, okay? And then we actually just built a simple calculator right now, which is the one we got right here, that's telling us exactly what's going on, the subtraction and all of those things. So that's about it for this. So if you have any kind of question, you can go ahead right now and ask. And remember, Victoria, you can help me with that coordinate. That because I can't see my screen. I'm still right here on the slide. Is Victoria there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Do we have anybody who is raising hands or anything who want to ask question?
No one yet. I think someone asked question on the group. If you want to share a screen now, you can go ahead. Daniel, you shared a screenshot. Are you ready to share a screen now? We're trying to run something.
Okay, let me end my screen then. That's fine.
Daniel, I believe he's here. Peace, Daniel. Are you still on this call? Please, if you're on this call, can you say I? Okay, Mohammed, you can unmute your mic and speak. Thank you, Peace. Peace, we're asking you if you still have a question. Like, if you're. Okay, thank you, Kingsley. All right. Okay. It seems Judith wanted to share her screen earlier. Judith, are you there?
Okay, Julie.
Yes, sorry. I'm here. I wanted to show Mr. Patrick what I was doing in the previous class, in last week's class.
Okay.
So
Okay,
that's
are
what
you
we
on your
were talking
computer?
about.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay, go
let
ahead.
me check.
Please go ahead.
So,
Okay, let me connect my laptop.
okay, while you do that, do anybody have any question concerning or confusion about the assignment? Such somebody.
Yes, please. I did not get the assignment.
What part did you not get?
Yes, the I needed to screenshot the assignment. Yes.
The assignment should be sent to you guys. That's fine. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
I just like running it through with everyone so you can see what you're expecting. Um, this is, I think number five is usually the kind of like practical part of it. Every other part is the theoretical part of it. So, um, yeah, I think it's self-explanatory because I gave example right there. Write a program that gives a shout out software, a shout out program. When the user input that name, the result that should be printed should be like either saying good morning, good afternoon, or hey Mary, or what's up, whatever name the user put in. That's exactly what I'm asking for. All right. So are we good?
Yeah, please ask
Everybody,
a
if we're good,
question.
then
Please, sir, please, sir, can you explain the data type? Which part of the data type are you asking about? Because I don't know. Mr. Patrick, do you
Yeah,
understand this
data
question?
type. Data type is what part of the data type do you don't understand? Data type is okay. Let me just go back and see if I can. So data type in Python describes the kind of data value holds, right? Um, when a variable is holding something, when a variable is holding something, it's a data type, and it has to be a data type. Now, what type of data type are we talking about? A data type can be integer, float, string, boolean, and and all of this we have on the screen, right? But we only acted upon integer, float, and string and boolean today. Okay, that is okay for introductory part. And I showed you how you can declare a variable, which is which how you can declare int variable, which is x is equals to 5. Automatically, we're talking about integer. Um, because why? Why is it integer? Because integer ints holds a whole number. And since we're talking about 5 right here, it means that what? It means that 5 x must be what? Integer, because 5 is a whole number. That's how it works. If 5 was like, let's say, 3.8, what's this gonna be? It's gonna be float. But if x is what? 3. What are we talking about? 3 is a whole number. That means it is an integer. And we go down to floats. This is how you declare float number as well. A float data type. When you say temperature is 10.5, it means we're talking about what? A float. So anything that has to do with points, decimal numbers, we're talking about float. As well as string, anything that's inside a single quote or a double quote is a string data type. Okay? And finally, boolean, anything that's saying true or false is a boolean figure. Okay? That's very, very important to understand. So that's about it for for the things you need to know about data type. These are the four really important data type you need to know as a beginner. And I think you get a picture of what data type is now. I just run a quick run breakdown of really what data type is. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Do you understand now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right.
So
All right.
someone said Mr. Patrick should send the assignment to him or to the group later. If you are registered for this particular course, you would have received the assignment in your email. You can check your email, please. So this next assignment will be sent to your email again. That's if you register for this course. And if you have not registered, you can just drop your Gmail to my DM. Yeah, they will help you out too. Okay, thank you, Olawi, Kinsley. Oyinyechi, are you ready to share your screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Patrick, please stop sharing your screen. Thank you.
Sorry, I think my laptop have just started hanging.
Okay, I guess it's the network. While we wait, is there another question from anybody? Adebayo, Mohammed, Iro. So do you have question?
Yes, please, can you share the recording of the class to us later?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not promising because most people decided to miss this session because of the recording. So I'll think about it. I think we will think about it, then I'll get back to you guys.
Okay.
What people don't know is that when you come to the session, you ask your question directly from the tutor. But on the group now, the tutor may not be available to answer you properly. And it will be as if you don't want to respond to your questions. That would be fair enough if you just feel that way. So I want all of you to
The, re-
know. Okay.
the reason why I ask is for those of us that maybe we are not into computer science and we are trying coding for the very first time. It actually helps us. Like the class, while the class was going on, Mr. Patrick is actually a very good teacher. While he was teaching, sometimes I feel like I'm very well understanding it. Sometimes I feel like I've really disconnected. But if I can go back to the class and maybe go through it again, I think I'll be able to understand it very well.
Yeah, that's true. What you said is really a good teacher. That's the truth. Okay, so well, like I said, we'll think about it and get back to you. So if you know anybody on the group, tell them, why do you not attend the session today? So I don't know why they always miss this important stuff because of anything. All right. So is there any other question? Is your system still hanging?
I don't know why it's delaying.
Okay, so if it's not working now, I think later you can just reach out to Mr. Patrick. Then you ask your
All right.
questions from him. Mr. Patrick, do you want to say any other thing to us? Like as announcement or anything?
Well, I think I'm done saying everything I want to say. However, I want to appreciate the people who are here, who are showing up, and I want to motivate you. Programming is cool. It's not it's not a scary thing. Okay, done. You can see how I'm breaking it down so you can understand it, and I'm using a real life example so that you can know how it goes. And it is something that you can do. If I can do it, you can do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it. So we're getting to that stage where it's like if you're running your code, you're gonna be having errors. This is where students actually give up. I can't get it to work. I can't get it to work. Oh no, this is showing me red lines. It's like, don't give up. It's okay. That's the process. All right. And when I started many years ago, it was like there's some point where I have to deal with a bug for like a week, right? I have to deal with a bug for like a week, and I just want to like motivate you guys to whatever it is, whatever errors you're facing, whatever problem, feel free to post it in the group. I posted the format that you can use to post your questions. Don't just write on the screen. Don't just write and say, "Hey, I can't do this thing. It's not working." How am I supposed to help you if I cannot see what you're talking about? Take a screenshot, take a picture, upload it to the group, and write the description of what is happening. Why are you facing that error? And try as much as possible to solve the problem yourself. If you can't solve it yourself, then bring it down to the group. Don't just face error and immediately you're bringing it down to the group. You must learn to solve problem yourself. And if you don't have any help, you can bring it down. I'll try as much as possible to make myself available so I can answer every questions you have in the group. But for right now, this is thank you for coming and do enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, okay. There's another announcement. If you're interested in advanced session, like advanced academy, like, I mean, this Python, because this one now is basic, you can just reach out to Mr. Patrick. So he has no particular academy that you can register with. So just reach out to him. That one is advanced. That you can see now that is really a great tutor for you to understand is basic. So definitely if you register with him, you get the best out of everything. So that's another thing I want to say. Okay, so thank you everybody for today. Yeah, he says, sir, can we get your detail? I will tag him on the group. Since you're on the group, don't worry, I'll tag him, then you text him directly from there. Okay, so thank you everybody. The assignments and everything, the recording will be sent to your email. Yes, that's my number. Thank you. Thank you, Alawi. All right, all right. So thank you everybody. I wish you all the best. Happy coding.
Thank you.